Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, Just Simply Sports here with me. I am Kaja, and if you're new to my channel, I welcome you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you're not new, you've been here. You already know my sports family. Let's get right into it. NFL free agency has been going on for roughly about a week or so, and there have been a lot of major moves that have been made, some not so major, but that's another conversation another day, right? Specifically the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you've been here, you know I always say, and Russ we trust. So, the Steelers obviously don't want Russell Wilson. I have no idea why, you guys, and if you do, let me know in those comments, please, because by all accounts, Russell Wilson had a good year. I mean, it wasn't Josh Allen and Lamar-esque kind of year, but he still had a good year overall, given what he had, given how the O-line needed some more pieces. The defense wasn't defending. There was a lot going on towards the end of the season, and Russell made some mistakes notably, but it wasn't all him. It was a team, like there was just different things going on, in my humble opinion. But nonetheless, Russell Wilson has met with the Browns, met with the Giants. I don't believe he's received an offer, and if he has, they have not released that information to the public. But according to Adam Schefter, other sources, the Steelers want Aaron Rodgers. And so do the Giants. And he wants to go to Minnesota. Again, this is all, allegedly, supposedly. I don't know this to be true. But they're saying now that he can wait until after the NFL draft, which is April 24th, next month, so after he chooses to make his decision. So, is there an issue with Aaron Rodgers taking his sweet old time?
I ain't doing that darkness retreat. I don't need any of that crap. Either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. If you want me to recruit, that's the recruiting pitch. Pittsburgh Steelers, if you want to be part of it, so be it. If you don't, no skin on my back. If we don't sign a quarterback, you go in the year with Mason, I think we feel good about it. But, excited to have him back. He really, he's a guy for the locker room. And a lot of guys vibe with him. I want to play football. I'm tired of talking about the quarterback situation. I'd rather have it done. I'm ready to move on in the free agency.
I may not be a former NFL player, but I most definitely have a problem with this just as an individual, as a teammate, a potential coach, or whatever the situation may be. You won 5 games last season, Aaron Rodgers. Now, we're talking about where you are currently. I can't continue to always give grace because of who you used to be years ago. Really and truthfully, the fact of the matter is that where you are now, the last few years, does not reflect where you once were. You've definitely had a drop off. And for you to take your time and hold teams up like this, that want you to have made an offer to you and express interest and bring you into their franchise, and it's only March 18th. You have teams that are getting ready to start, workouts and warm-ups on March 21st, I believe it was reported. And then the draft is next month, towards the end of the month. That's how many weeks from now? That's about 5 or 6 weeks. So teams that are interested in you should just sit around and just wait until you decide whether or not you want to go there. Meanwhile, you're holding everybody else up. It's not just Russell Wilson, and I understand, Aaron Rodgers isn't Russell Wilson anything, but how about just having basic human decency and just common courtesy, right? Because you're holding teams up. So if I'm waiting on a quarterback, right, and Aaron Rodgers obviously is not going to be a cheap quarterback because of his resume, and I get it. He deserves to be paid because, he's an MVP, champion, all these different things. But so if I'm going to pay you at least 35, 40 million, for each year, 2-year contract, 100 million, I don't know, 80 million, however you want to slice and dice it. I have to know how much of that is going to be taken off of my payroll so that I can bring in other pieces on my team. I have to know those things. If I'm the Giants and I have, a first round pick, do I go for a quarterback, or do I have Aaron Rodgers for the next 2 years and I can take my time and get quarterback from a different class, because this year's, quarterback draft class, is not the strongest talent wise. But do I wait and get somebody now, or do I have enough time to have Aaron Rodgers come in and be that bridge quarterback and then draft, 2 years from now or 3 years from now, depending on what's going on? But it's like you're holding everybody up. Something that really, really irks me about Aaron Rodgers, and again, I don't know him from back in the early 2000s or whatever have you. I was not watching football then. But it's looking at the moves that he's made the past few years. I'm like, he needs to be humbled, really and truly. You came into the Jets and you won less games than Zach Wilson. I said myself when Zach was playing, I was like, Zach is not the only issue there. It is the team, it's the organization. Everybody gave you things you won last year. You got, Nathaniel Hackett there. I'm stuttering, you guys. Forgive me. Nathaniel Hackett came in. Robert Saleh got fired. You got Devontae Adams. You had, Garrett Wilson. You had a lot of talent, around you. And it still resulted in nothing. You know what I mean? So it's not as if by all accounts, stat wise, you did okay, but it didn't result in wins. And one thing I've learned in professional sports, you're measured by your wins and your losses. Nobody really cares about the whole in between, So it's like, at what point you take this into account? Last year there was some issues before the season, with you being in Egypt and missing OTAs, all these different things. It's like, at what point does that stop? And I really hope that these teams, if you want Aaron Rodgers, I get it. But if I'm an organization and I'm trying to rebuild, I'm trying to, make moves, for this coming season, I want to be successful. It's already starting off on a bad foot. And how does it look to your locker room if you have someone like Cam Hayward who spoke out about, do you want to be here? You want to be still? You don't want to be one. It is what it is. How does it look when you're holding the whole franchise up in a locker room of men who's looking like, what are we doing here? If he wants to be here, great. If he doesn't want to be here, then that's great too. Let's find somebody who does, because people want to start working out. They want to start game plan to win. Aaron Rodgers, because of who he is or he used to be, I feel like he takes his time every year to decide whether or not he wants to do it. Do I want to still play in Green Bay? Do I not want to play in Green Bay? Am I going to play the Jets? Am I not going to play with the Jets? I don't know. It's like all these different things. It's like, dude, you want to play or you don't want to play? I don't personally have time for anyone. I don't care what your resume is. It's like, I'm trying to build a winning program. I'm trying to make sure that what happened last season does not occur again this season to the best of my ability. And if we have workouts starting March 21st, obviously they're not mandatory, but they're starting. You want to start getting ingratiated with the offense, especially if it's going to be a new offense. You're not going back to the Jets. So wherever you land, be it the Giants, be it Minnesota, be it the Steelers, you have to get acquainted, with your wide receivers and vice versa. People do things differently. He was complaining last year in Green Bay about the wide receivers, but you didn't want to practice with them in the preseason. You don't want to participate in preseason games. It's like, I don't see the point in participating in preseason games, all these different things. You get out there last year, after you haven't played at all in over a year due to tearing your Achilles, I understand that, but you're still older. And then you come out there and there's no chemistry. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure you out. Like, you owe it to your team to decide what you want to do. It's not about Russell Wilson, like you owe him something or you owe these organizations something because you're a free agent, but you are holding people up. And that to me speaks to character. And that's part of the biggest reason for me why I already said, aside from his talent, he would not be in my locker room, because for me, it's like, how you run an organization when I'm already starting it off catering to what you want. I'm holding myself or my organization up. I'm holding my coaching staff up. I'm holding my team up by letting you figure out what you want to do. And we could be making moves already, starting to get our workouts in and really build towards a winning, successful season. I have a huge problem with this, or with anybody taking their sweet time, and delaying, the process of winning. What do you guys think though about Aaron Rodgers? Do you feel like he has deserved the right to take his time? Or you feel like me, dude, you coming? Or you're not? Let me know in those comments. Of course, see you in the next video.